Lesson 13. Shivaji gives the slip to the emperor. My dear children, before I explain this lesson, let us revise what happened in the last lesson. Yes, the lesson seems to be very interesting. The last lesson we saw that Shivaji wanted to establish Swaraj to make the people happy. But he was also sad because in the battlefield many of his brave soldiers were losing their lives, and so he wanted to make a treaty of peace with the Mughal emperor. And so he signed the treaty of peace with the emperor, and after signing the peace treaty, Mirza Raje Jai Singh suggested that he goes to Agra and meets the emperor. Now Shivaji knew that the emperor could not be trusted, but still he decided this brave decision, and he said, I will meet the emperor. And so he decided to go and meet the emperor at Agra. Now in this lesson, we have Shivaji, who is already decided, and he is about to leave to go to Agra to visit the emperor. Now before leaving to meet the emperor, what did Shivaji do? He handed over all the administration of his Swaraj to his beloved mother Jijabai, and he also took her blessings. After that, he, along with his son Shivaji Raje and some of his trusted Sardars, went with a large treasure, that is money, a lot of valuables. He moved towards Agra and finally reached Agra. Shivaji shows his spirit at the emperor's court. Now here Shivaji is at the court of the emperor. Now he attended the emperor's darbar. Young Shivaji Raje was also with Shivaji. Now it was the birthday of Aurangzeb, the 50th birthday. And after finishing court in Diwan-e-Khas, now Diwan-e-Khas is a place where all the guests of the states are received. Now the emperor, he entered the hall where the matters of the states were discussed. Now this place is a place where all the Sardars, the chiefs of different ranks, would assemble, and they were given places according to their status. Now Shivaji was a king of the state of Maharashtra, and according to his position as a king, he should have been respected and given a seat, a place to sit in the first rows. But what happened? The emperor wanted to insult Shivaji, and so Shivaji was put in one of the back rows. The Sardars, or the people who were in less rank, now for example, Jaswant Singh Rathod, whom the Marathas had put to flight on many occasions, was in the rank ahead of Shivaji. To make it very easy, in your class you have your class monitor or the class leader, and then you have the squad leaders or the row leaders. Now who is the highest in rank? Of course the class leader, and then the squad leaders or the row monitors. Likewise, Shivaji was the first in rank in the darbar, but he was not given his respect, his due place, and therefore Shivaji was very angry. Shivaji was not a person who would keep quiet. He immediately showed that he was angry because he was insulted, and so he left the royal presence. That is, he left the darbar, he left the place, and he went to his residence, that is, to his house. Now here you can see the picture of Shivaji in the darbar. He is already leaving the darbar and he is very, very angry This is the emperor's court, and it is really justified that Shivaji should get angry here. The emperor's treachery. Treachery means betrayal. That is, the trust that Shivaji had on the emperor was broken by the deeds of the emperor. Now, what is it? Aurangzeb ordered some guards. Why did he do so? He ordered these guards to be posted all around Shivaji's residence. Now, what is the meaning of this? Shivaji and his son Sambhaji Raje were inside the house, and the emperor's guards were posted all around the house, making Shivaji and his son the emperor's prisoners. Now, you know, when people are in jail, they are locked inside the house or inside a cell, that is a room, and the guards are outside guarding whether they should not move away from the place. Similarly, here Shivaji and his son were inside the house, and the guards were keeping watch that they do not leave the place. That means Shivaji and his son had become prisoners of the emperor. Days passed, weeks passed, nothing would change. Shivaji and his son were still prisoners, and so Shivaji petitioned to the emperor. He asked for permission to return to the state of Maharashtra. But did the emperor give him some positive response? Good reply? No. Every time Shivaji made a request, the request was turned down. Now Shivaji made up his mind to escape from the clutches of the emperor. Now, what did Shivaji do? Now, to obtain the emperor's permission to send back some of his men who accompanied Shivaji when he came to Agra, he asked the emperor, "Can I send these people back to the south?" And now the permission was granted. The emperor was very happy. He thought that Shivaji would be all alone. The men who were with him would leave him and go back to Maharashtra. He would be isolated. Shivaji and his son, along with the two servants, Hiroji Farjand and Madari Mehetar, were in the residence, that is, as prisoners, whereas the others who had accompanied Shivaji left the place. Now, after this, Shivaji's mind was making some plans. What is the plan? Shivaji decided to fall sick. He pretended that he was ill. He complained to the emperor of a severe stomach ache, a pain in the stomach, and so doctors were called. The doctors were treating Shivaji. Now Shivaji told the emperor that he would like to send huge baskets of sweets to the sadhus and Maulvis. Sadhus are holy men and Maulvis are Islamic religious scholars. So Shivaji started sending huge baskets of sweets to the sadhus and the Maulvis for his quick recovery. Escape from Agra. Now, huge baskets were sent to the holy people because Shivaji wanted to recover soon. In the beginning, the guards would examine the baskets. What is the meaning of the word examine? Check the baskets and see whether they were filled with sweets. Now, what happened? In the course of the time, the baskets were not checked. Why? Because the guards were tired checking them every day, so they stopped checking the baskets. Now one evening, Shivaji made Hiroji sleep in his bed, and he asked Madari to massage his feet. So what would the guards think? That Shivaji is sleeping and the servant is massaging his feet. But who was sleeping? Hiroji. And Madari was massaging his feet. Now Shivaji and Sambhaji hid themselves in two of the many baskets. In one basket, Shivaji hid himself, and in another basket, Sambhaji Raje hid himself. Now, the basket was supposed to be filled with sweets, and now the guards were tired of checking it, so they did not check it. So Shivaji Maharaj and Sambhaji got out quickly from the place and escaped. Finally, they reached a place where Shivaji's faithful servants were waiting with horses ready for flight. Now, in the meantime, what happened? Hiroji and Madari, they left the house in Agra under the pretext of getting some medicine. Now, what is the meaning of pretext? It's just an excuse that they made. Actually, they were escaping from the house in Agra. These two men had really risked their life to save the life of their master Shivaji. Now here you have the picture of Shivaji escaping on a horseback, his loyal servants ready there to take charge of his son Sambhaji. Okay, now the emperor comes to know about Shivaji's escape the next day. Oh, would he be happy? Not at all. He was wild with rage. That means he was very, very angry. And now his sardars were frightened. The emperor sent spies all over the country to trace for Shivaji, but all in vain. Once Shivaji escaped, the Maratha lion was never again to be caught in the emperor's net. Maratha lion is Shivaji, of course. Now in disguise, Shivaji Maharaj started towards Maharashtra. Disguise means he changed his appearance and he left his son Sambhaji Raje behind in a safe place at Mathura. In due course, reached Rajgarh. Now when he reached over there, Jijamata was overjoyed, happy to see his son Shivaji safe back home. 2 months later, Sambhaji Raje also arrived safely at Rajgarh. With great skill and daring, Shivaji gave the slip to the emperor and reached to his house safely, that is to his kingdom in Maharashtra. All this took place in the year 1666.